Hey everyone, welcome to Mini Bike Mike's Garage. As you can see, I've got another project up on the table, and it's a CT70. Surprise, surprise. You all know I love my Honda CT70s. And this one's pretty rough. I bought this for $100 as you see it. Probably 2 or 3 years ago. I think it had handlebars on it when I bought it. I think I robbed the handlebars for another project, but other than that, it was pretty much the way you see it. Is this going to be just a standard CT70 build? Yeah, for the most part. This one, obviously, with the way this looks, you're going to get a little added bonus. I'm going to actually sling some paint on this one. So we'll try and clean this up, make it look as good as we can. This bike is kind of a mishmash of parts. It looks like it's a K0 from the front end, but the frame is actually, from the VIN number and so forth, is a K1 CT70. So it's got, it's got a jumble of parts. And you guys know me, by the time I get done, it's even going to have a more jumbled parts. It's going to have, Honda stuff and Chinese stuff and Amazon stuff. And so, anyway, but I'm hoping to make a clean little rider out of it. And I've got my work cut out for me because the paint on this thing is rough. Well, I'll tell you what, let's bring you in and we'll just take a little bit closer look at it. All right, so as the bike sits, it doesn't even look good from 20 feet away. So I'm hoping that by the time I get done, it's at least a 10-footer. It looks a little bit better from 10 feet away. But as I said, the paint on this, it's kind of a darkish green. There is some white shining through, and this is thick, real thick. I found some blue, and then I think this frame was originally a candy red K1. I believe the forks were sapphire blue, but you can see, I don't know if that red is kind of like a primer or what that is, and then they put the green on top, but as you can tell from this little hand-painted decal, it's all split and cracked, and oh my gosh, this thing is just in rough shape. Well, I say that, but the frame has not got a lot of dents and dings, and it seems to be fairly clean that way. So I think if I can get the paint off of it, which I'll go around to the other side and show you in a second what I started kind of doing. I think if I can get the paint off of it and get it down kind of smooth, I think it will actually look pretty decent when I'm done. Now we're just going to rattle can it. I'll show you the stuff we're going to use over here in just a few minutes, but you guys know me. This is going to be a low buck project, just like all of mine are, but we're just going to try and make it look as good as we can. Before I start kind of walking around this thing, I do have a question for you guys. Anybody know what these headlight buckets are off of? This is the third one of these I've come across, in the last 10, 15 years. And I don't really know what it's off of. It's got these two bolts here. Now, this is the second one that I've gotten that still has this plastic piece bolted to it. And then if you look right here, something's broke, but it pivoted within that, I think. I don't know what these are off of. It's definitely not off of a CT70. I don't know if it's off of something of European, a Docs model, or what it is. But if somebody has some insight on what that headlight bucket is, and all three of them that I have are all the same color, this kind of whitish, yellowish. I don't know if that's faded or what that happened there. But anyway, leave me a comment. Let me know what that's off of so I can know. It does have a CT70 style speedometer. Sorry, I'm getting some shadow or glare from the light. And it looks like a silver tag speedometer. It's got the flat plastic high-low or the high beam indicator, and then the lines are the darker color. On a standard K0 speedometer, those lines are white that indicate the first, second, and third gear. But the silver tags are dark. So I think that's an early speedometer. But anyway, we're going to tear it all apart, and then I'll take you around on this side. I started kind of messing with the paint. And And at first I started using like a chemical stripper, and it just must not been very strong. It wasn't very good. It wasn't taking anything off. So I eventually went to a flat disc sanding wheel on this angle grinder, and I took off everything right here that you see. You can kind of see here's still some bare metal. And I went ahead and I hit it with some primer because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't digging in so deep that I was leaving any lines. And it looks like I think I'm going to be okay. I think by the time I put the primer on there and the paint, excuse me, put the paint on there, it'll be nice and smooth. But like I said, there's no real dents or dings in this thing. The frame's not bent. So I like this. I saw this. The paint, that looks like a zip tie imprint right here and right here. So I'm not sure what they had zip tied to the frame right there, but they had it on there. They must have put it on when the paint was still tacky or wet or whatever, and it just dug into the paint. I am just now noticing that it does have a silver tag style horn on it. So this front end must be off of an earlier bike, silver tag or an early black tag, to have that speedometer and that horn. It does, okay, I was going to show you the tag. It does. So I don't know if you can see it. I think it says 2 of 72 build date. And there's the 7-digit VIN. And then if you know the difference between a K0 and a K1 and later swing arm, this is the K1 and newer swing arm. It has this thick piece right here. On the K0s, that's just like a flat 1/4 inch plate. That's how you can tell the K0 swing arms from the rest of them. But yeah, since it's already a kind of mix mash of pieces and parts, we're just going to continue that trend. Here's some stuff that I've started pulling out that I'm going to put on the bike once it's painted and ready to go. And I'm kind of an equal opportunity purchaser. I've used just about every part supplier out there to get this stuff. I used Mike's Mini Trail. I got the decals and the side badges, and I think I got the cables came from Mike's. I think that's a Bart Moto seat, TB Parts headlight bucket, and maybe the chain guard. I'm not 100% sure. My Trail Buddy harness that I always use. SoCal Mini Trail is where I got the handlebars. I did a video back on those. And then there's Amazon parts and eBay parts, and even some used parts. The knobs and the brake pedal are just used pieces. Hell, there's even some homemade parts. I'm going to use since it's going to have a Life in 125 12-volt engine. I make these battery boxes to hold a 12-volt battery, so it'll have that in there. But anyway, we're going to go with the Life in 125 or unbranded Life in 125. It'll be a 4-speed manual with a 22 millimeter Nibby carb. I'm going to paint the bike with this metal specs. I think it's called Retro Red. There you go. So that's what, so even though these parts are candy gold, that they'll get repainted and the whole thing will go to that reddish color. So the bike will go back to, I think, close to its original color. And then, I use the universal aluminum for doing rim halves and anything that gets the cloud silver type paint. So, all right, there you go. So I think I'm going to dig into this thing and tear it all apart, and that'll be on another video. I'll probably bring you guys back when I get ready to paint it. All right, everybody, I think I'm going to wrap today's video up right there. Obviously, I've got the bike all torn apart and got the frame on the stand, and I've started working on the other side a little bit on this paint, and I think I might have hit upon a way of getting most of the paint off. Now, it's not going to be perfect, as you can you still see some green tint and so forth here, but I probably tried 4 or 5 different methods, and the first 4 had mediocre success. And then I think I finally hit on something on that last try that I think I'm going to use to do the other side to get it down to here. And I think this will be good enough. Like I said, we're just building a 10-footer. I think by the time I put primer and paint on that, I think it'll look pretty decent actually. So I tell you what, let's play a little game. In the comments, give me a comment on how you think I got the paint, or I got the bike to go from that to here. Now I'm looking for a very specific answer. Don't just comment sandpaper, for example. I want something a little more specific than that. And I tell you what, the first person that gives me the answer that I'm looking for, I'm gonna send you out a Mini Bike Mike's Garage t-shirt. We'll hook up an email or something and I'll get an address from you and I'll send you out a shirt. So again, comment, what method did I use to take the frame from looking like this to looking like that? Have fun with it. Guys, I'll see you on the next video as we continue to build this bike. Everybody have a great day. See ya.